Now I have pushed this build towards the end game, which was a very fun experience. As you can see in the video, I'm at level 84 fighting level 100 monsters like there's nothing there. This build is very tanky and you alternate a couple of skills to kill monsters really fast. For example, you use Poison Creeper and also Trample to trigger Landslide automatically due to the aspect we're using. You constantly reset your Earthen Bulwark skill, which not only gives you defense, but also damage enemies based on how much barrier you have. Look at this level 100 boss who died within like 10 seconds. At this point, I definitely can comfortably push to even higher tiers of Nightmare dungeons. The gears, skill tree, and the Paragon boards are linked in the description on the default planner site for you to read the detail. I will highlight the changes I made for the endgame comparing to the last video linked in the red corner. If you would like to see more content like this, please smash the like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to never miss a video. As we're going to use the Crown Great Staff, we made some changes to our skill tree. We still keep the Storm Strike points here, but we put more point into Claw. As you can see, the Claw has much higher lucky hit chance. As we are using the Crown Great Staff, whenever you use Claw, it will also cast the Storm Strike. So combine these two skills will give you much higher lucky hit chance, which will trigger the cooldown reduction much faster. And also this point in the Wild Claw will give you 15% chance to attack twice. So this will get you really great higher chance of a lucky hit and also reset of the cooldown. And also Storm Strike will make the enemies vulnerable as well. No change in the Landslide, which is our core skill and main damage output. No changes here for Iron 4 for damage reduction. And then we changed the 1 point for Earthen Bulwark. Instead of getting more fortify here, we moved this point to innate Earthen Bulwark to give us more damage whenever we refresh Earthen Bulwark or as it expires. This will basically constantly happen because we're resetting the cooldown for Earthen Bulwark very fast, and this damage also increases by the barrier you have. So later on when you get more barriers, the damage of this will be much higher. No change in Vigilance to get more damage reduction. And we changed the 1 point for Poison Creeper. Instead of increase its duration, we put 1 point into Brutal Poison Creeper to get more critical strike chance. So this is what we want later in the end game to increase our damage further. There's no change in the Trample skill. We still want to get our spirit back whenever we cast it. I took 2 points out of the safeguard because we're getting fortify almost everywhere and also in the spirit boons, so we don't really need more points here to be tanky. Instead, we can put 1 point into, for example, Toxic Claw to make more poison enemies to increase our damage. I also get an amulet to further increase amulet bank by 3, so this will give us a lot of damage increase because this is a multiplier. Or either additive, actually I'm not sure, but this actually gives us a huge damage increase anyway. We want to be leading further spirit back on our skill tree. Spirit is really not a problem in endgame. So instead we can take 1 point out of here and put it into someplace else. And also in the further endgame, as you are pushing towards higher tiers of Nightmare dungeons, you can consider putting more points into this heightened senses to get more damage reduction from the elites. This is gonna be huge in the late game. For the gears, the most important thing is to start using Crown Great Staff. This will make our Claw as a storm skill and also cast the Storm Strike whenever we use Claw. As we explained before, this will give us a lot of cooldown reduction, and this is a really increase of quality of life as well as we're playing in the endgame. As for helmet, still using aspect of mending and get more barrier generation to increase the damage of Earthen Bulwark. Also get more basic attack speed to use Claw faster to get more cooldown reset. For the chest, still using ballistic aspect to get +2 for our earth skills. You can also use aspect of disobedience to get more armor for damage reduction. For the stats, definitely get more barrier generation damage reduction, and the total armor. No change in our glove using the subterranean aspect. This is one of the enabler to cast Landslide automatically whenever we cast Poison Creeper. On the pants, just look for all the damage reduction stats and look for the higher roll. So this one is a perfect pants. It has 4 damage reduction stats, fortunately. On the boots, you are looking for movement speed and also damage reduction. Other stats are nice but not really necessary. And you are going to use Ghost Walker here to get more increase of quality of life, because this gives you 25 increase in movement speed whenever you are unstoppable, and also 4 seconds after, as we're constantly reset our bottom Earthen Bulwark. Basically we're unstoppable constantly, so you get this 25% increase in movement speed all the time. For the amulet, I moved the symbiotic aspect here to increase the cooldown reduction. For whatever reason, I'm still getting 7 seconds reduce the cooldown here, not the 8. I don't know if this is a bug or something, because I tried to put on the aspect which was perfect on the boot or helmet at 5 seconds. Multiplied by 1.5 on the amulet, that should be 7.5, and be run up to 8. I don't know what happened here, it still gives me 7. Or I guess I'll just keep trying to get the 8 here, which is very important. Definitely get more cooldown on amulet, and also most importantly to get the +3 rank of emblem passive here to increase your damage like crazy. For other stats, you also want to look for movement speed, which is great but not really necessary. On the ring, there's no change, but I moved the Trample Earth aspect from the weapon to here, because on a weapon we can't have any other aspect of it. So move the Trample Earth aspect here for sure. And then another ring, there's no change here. Use the Aftershock aspect as usual. So on the Spirit Boons, we got this one for more damage reduction. We got this one for more critical strike damage for sure. Use this one for fortify whenever we use defensive skill. And definitely pack leader to reset the cooldown of Poison Creeper, and also Calm Before the Storm to reset the cooldown of Petrify. This Paragon board is definitely not finished yet, because I'm still at level 84, try to further working on it. Compared to last time, we go further to the left here to get more point of dexterity, because we're using a spirit glyph to increase our critical strike damage. What you want to do is to get all of the dexterity points within this range. Oh, there's one more to go actually, but we already get a 66% increase in critical strike damage. This is really good for our damage. And we also attached another board called the Thunderstruck. You can rotate and put it here, and then you can just go down here to grab this node for more damage reduction from vulnerable enemies. As we're using the exploit glyph, and also Storm Strike will make our enemies vulnerable. So this reduction from vulnerable enemies is basically constantly on. If you can meet the requirement down there for the 440 intelligence, you're going to double this damage reduction, which is really strong. And actually you can attach this board as your third board, so you get less requirement here, so you can get this further bonus much easier. And we're going to use a shifter glyph here to give bonus to the rare nodes in the range, and also get more critical strikes from our attacks. And then my plan is to further go here to the red top to get more node of critical strike damage. Hope this video is helpful for you to do your endgame as a Druid character. Leave your comment below to let me know how you want to tweak and play the build. See you in the next one.